Hello there, YouTube. I'm the No Show Consumer. I listen to music and record my impressions of it when people don't show up to their appointments. Today is a 45 degrees Celsius day in Australia. Someone didn't show up to their appointment, didn't let me know. Perfect day for me to listen to some more My Heart Says Go. So we have, I don't even know why I have that because it doesn't say the title of the song. That's all right. Title of the song is "The Place Where Dreams Come True," and um, I guess Indigo is starting on his musical theater. I don't know about musical theater. I know that's where Jorge went, but Indigo seems to be just more kind of like songwriting, singer, musician focused. Um, so I guess he hasn't had a great run. He got uh yeah, okay. He got emotionally abused by his dad, and then he got publicly humbled and humiliated by his new performing arts teacher. Um, See where it goes. This is the place where dreams come true. Ooh.
The place where dreams come true.
Yeah, I haven't heard a song like this in this yet. It's just like immediately grabs you, pulls you in. All right, come on, it gives me kind of um, One Short Day from Wicked.
The place where dreams come true. The place where dreams come true. The place where dreams come true.
The impression, like the impact that it kind of has, is it makes you feel like, okay, yeah, I want to be there too. Bring me, take me with you. Whatever this place is, I don't really care. It sounds magical. I want to be there.
The place where dreams come true. I look around and see the city of angels takes a chance to smile right at me.
Okay, City of Angels. I forget which one is that. Is that Los Angeles? I think Los Angeles is supposed to be. Yeah, yeah. That's what it means, right? The angels. Anyway.
The place where dreams come true. I look around and see the city of angels takes a chance to smile right at me.
City of Angels. The City of Angels takes a chance to smile right at me.
The Hollywood sign is glistening, the city streets are bristling, and I am so excited for the place where yo.
I feel like this would be a little bit more impactful if I knew what city it was that Indigo was coming from. But yeah, obviously finds himself. I can't. I can't help but think of. Was it? I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at this kind of stuff. But was it Miley Cyrus?
No.
Who was it? The song, about New York concrete jungle where dreams are made of. Anyway, kind of gives this sense of here's this foreign place that feels like the stories that I've always heard, and somehow I feel like it's going to disappoint him.
Bristling, and I am so excited for the place where yo, maybe I'll watch a show tonight, maybe I'll grab a drink tonight, maybe I'll take a walk down the Santa Monica Pier tonight, drive down Pacific Coast Highway, maybe I'll take the train, or maybe I'll just get lucky enough to find my name on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
A little bit ahead of yourself, dude. I can't help but think that very, very soon he's going to hit a point of disenchantment with this enchanting city.
Now Melrose Avenue, that's what I call a view. Great escape, and Venice Beach has all you can see, and oh, you know, I'll be tearing down the doors of the citywide tour, so I got no money, I'm poor, keep sore, and I'm standing on the shore, and I know there's more to.
It's good to know that his performing arts instructor didn't have too much of of an impact on his ego. It's still nice and strong.
Citywide tour till I got no money. I'm 14th sore and I'm standing on the shore. And I know there's more to place where dreams are placed. California, California, the place where dreams come true. Place where dreams are placed. Yo, this is my claim to get my name out there. I'm gonna gain some fame and some clout here. Indigo's in it to win it, alright. No giving in cause the limit's the sky. Look in my eyes, I'm on the rise. Never gonna stop till I drop and I die. But I'm still dropping heat on the beat like beast with the honey. Ain't nobody gonna stop me but
I just can't help but love him. Um, I know it's not going to go how he wants. I know it's not going to go how he wants, but I just can't help but love him, and I just want him to succeed so much.
the money.
Oh, that's it. Right. How did that end?
I'm on the rise, never gonna stop till I drop and I die. But I'm still dropping heat on the beat like beast with the honey. Ain't nobody gonna stop me but the money.
Ain't nobody gonna stop me but the money. Is he already facing, the starving artist dilemma of, having to be where the action is and having to be where the representation is, but not having access to it yet, and not actually having, not having the resource that allows you to stay where it is that you first have to obtain the resource. I know this is a totally different issue, and although no, it's really not, is it? But I remember being an idealistic teen, and oh god, okay, yeah, this is going to perhaps not paint me in a very good light. But having this idea of just like, yeah, I reckon if I was on the streets and if I was in a bad situation, or like if I was deep in poverty, or if I was if I was facing these barriers that people talk about, and this kind of lack of access to housing, to food. It's like, I think I could pull myself out of that. Like, I could pull myself out of that. I see the steps that you need to take in order to get there. It's like, all you gotta do, you gotta have like one set of nice clean clothes, show up to an interview, and then, wear that face, and make people like you, and use the words that show. And it took an embarrassingly long time for me to realize how naive and how privileged an idea that is, and how I was already coming at that from a point of having been provided with all of my basic needs at every moment of my life. I have never once I've never once truly gone hungry. And I have never once had nowhere to go. I've never once not had a bed that I could sleep on. I've never once not had a friend that I could speak to. There is zero experience that I have had in my whole life of truly being without. And this egotistical, self-aggrandizing perspective of, oh, put me in that situation that other people are struggling with, it wouldn't be a problem for me. I could fix that. I could make that, like, I could do better. I could do better than they're doing if I had what they had. But I think this kind of explains how even people in my privileged class and I guess, kind of social privilege look to billionaires and world leaders and we're like how out of touch are these people? Like how do they delude themselves? How do they maintain this obvious lie? And I guess the answer is exactly how I do it. They maintain this obvious lie exactly in the same way that I do when I'm considering, the plight of people less privileged than I and the the stance, the position that I take when looking at something that I've never had to experience, that I've never had to struggle with, that I've never actually had to consider once in my life. If I had never once had to worry about paying rent, I would probably not worry about other people who were worrying about paying rent. If I'd never once in my life had to consider, um, being the victim of violence or being the victim of abuse, I would probably find it very hard to consider that plight. Like, for example, when I walk around pretty regularly at night in the city without thinking a moment about my safety. I can hear people, distressed or yelling or angry and not immediately think, how am I going to keep myself safe in this situation? Because I've never been the victim of that. And so if I don't know how I got here, but I'm just saying what's coming to my mind. I'm sure if I watch back this video at some point, then I'll be able to know how I got here. But anyway, it gives me I'm not going to say like empathy because billionaires don't need my empathy. Okay, but I don't know, maybe in one way, maybe in some way they do just in the sense of they never have and never will know what it's like to be the privileged middle class or less. And the privileged middle class never have and in many ways never will. Mostly, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying, broadly do not know and will not know and do not need to know um, what it's like to be truly underprivileged and vulnerable. It just kind of makes me feel overwhelmed and a bit small in acknowledging how little we know and how unimportant our own unimportant. It's incredibly important to us, but how limited how much our understanding and our perspective and our beliefs are just limited to our own experience. And and I say we, when I say we, usually that is a way of me dodging my own vulnerability because it's hard to say I. So let me be real. How easy it has been in my life to look at other people's problems and say, oh, I could solve that. I could do that better. Even in just such, I remember as a child watching the movie Mrs. Doubtfire quite a lot. Great movie. Great movie. Robin Williams. What a brilliant person. And I remember maybe at, yes, I don't know, like 8 or 9 years old or something like that. I don't know how old I was, but 8 or 9, sometime in the 90s, seeing uh, Danny, Robin Williams' character. Yep. Him and his wife. I don't remember. Anyway, brilliant. Two brilliant actors. Um, Seeing Danny having the realization that they were separating. And my little, like, 9-year-old brain was like, dude, you know, just say this, just say this, just say this, and it'll be fine. That'll make her realize. That'll make her not separate from you. That'll solve everything. And I couldn't understand as this little kid who, although by that stage I had been engaged twice to two different girls at school when I was 6, at the same time. Actually, I told them both in the same 15-minute period separately. I told each of them that I was going to marry them, and so told one, her name was Adele. Hi Adele. That I was going to marry her, and then I went to my who was a little bit more of like my publicish girlfriend, and and her name was Erin, and I went to Erin and I told Erin that I was going to marry her, and I was like, ha, ha, ha. I get two. I get two. Everyone else gets one, but I get two. I was also Mormon at the time, so that kind of checks. Anyway, having never been in a proper relationship, I was looking at these seasoned, brilliant actors who I'm sure, and I know nothing about these, these actors' personal lives really, but I'm sure they've had their fair share of relationship experiences and difficulties, and the personal learning that they're bringing into these performances. And I'm sitting there as like a 9-year-old, being like, "What the fuck, man? Just say, just okay. You said we love each other, don't we?" And that's the point where it's sitting in. And I'm like, if you just said, well, like, I love you, and like commit to that, and kind of draw towards her in that way, then she's bound to actually talk to you about it more, and you're gonna dig into it, and you're gonna share these memories and these experiences, and realize, and she's gonna remember, yeah, she does love you, and thinking that I just knew everything about this thing that I knew nothing about. I guess this is all to say that it's a very privileged idea that if you it's a very privileged idea to look at another situation and be like, oh yeah, yeah, I could handle that. I don't have to, but I could. And that I already have access to this resource, and so of course I'm able to perpetuate it. Of course I'm able to kind of feel confident in that. I don't have this crisis because I don't need to have that crisis, and I've never actually had to have that crisis. So, for example, I've never had to live, without access to food, and so yeah, of course I could be like, oh yeah, I could go hungry, but I have this, I have food, so it's easy for me to get more food. Food provides me with energy. Energy provides me with ability to work. I have everything that I need to have a healthy body and to have a healthy mind and to go out and do the thing. And so therefore it's easy for me to go and make more money and get more food so that I can eat and then feed my body and brain more so that I can go and get more food. Right? Whereas that's where it came from. When it comes to Indigo, he has put himself, okay, no, put himself, he's gone to where he needs to be in order to make this dream a reality, but he doesn't actually have access to the resource of, you know, um, of fame, of recognition, of work, um, so that he can keep living in this place, which is notoriously expensive and um, having never lived in that place. I've been to LAX once, nice airport, but having never lived in LA, I can only go off of very surface level impressions that people give that it's very, very hard to be living there, trying to make a living, trying to find work, trying to get the, trying to get known so that you can get the work, get the job, so that you can keep living there and keep building that up. He hasn't even got that initial resource yet. Guess we'll find out what happens when he runs out of money. And we know that he's not coming from a place which is going to financially support him. So this is going to be fun to listen back to next time.